Now to continue with it, suppose I am considering two plane sheets. This is having positive charge. Let us consider its density, charge density is sigma 1. Consider another sheet, plane sheet, having negative charge, so its charge density is sigma 2. Now we want to find electric field in the region 1, in the region 2 and in region 3 because of these two sheets. First of all, always keep it in mind that electric field is pointing away from positive and towards the negative. So for this region, for region 1, electric field due to first sheet, let us consider this is first, this is second. So electric field due to first sheet will be pointing in this direction. Electric field due to second, this is negative, so its electric field is towards this, negative. Similarly, in second region, positive. Positive means electric field is pointing away from the positive due to first, and due to this electric field is pointing towards the negative. This is E2. In region 3, electric field due to positive, again it is away, so E1, and for negative it is towards, so this is E2. We want to find total electric field. So total electric field in region 1 will be, they are acting in opposite direction, so we can simply write E1 minus E2 or E2 minus E1, which one is greater, whichever is greater according to that. So E1 will be E1 minus E2. Now what is electric field due to a single sheet? In the last article, last video I have shown it is equals to sigma over 2 epsilon naught. So here E1 will be sigma 1 over 2 epsilon naught and E2 is sigma 2 over 2 epsilon naught. So we'll put here value, it is sigma 1 over 2 epsilon naught minus sigma 2 over 2 epsilon naught. Okay, or you can write like this, 1 over 2 epsilon naught sigma 1 minus sigma 2. Now if sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2, no doubt it is positive, it is negative, but if both are equals to sigma, then electric field in region 1 will be sigma minus sigma, that is 0. Now moving on to region 2, electric field in region 2, it will be, both are acting in the same direction. So total electric field will be E1 plus E2. So it will be sigma 1 over 2 epsilon naught plus sigma 2 over 2 epsilon naught. Now again, if sigma 1 is equals to sigma 2, both are equals to sigma, then it is sigma over 2 epsilon naught. When you add them, you will get sigma over epsilon naught. Similarly, calculate E3, electric field in the third region. This is again E1 minus E2 or E2 minus E1. Because it doesn't depend upon distance, whatever value is large according to sigma 1 or sigma 2, you can write E2 minus E1 or E1 minus E2. So again it is sigma 1 over 2 epsilon naught minus sigma 2 over 2 epsilon naught. So if sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2 equals to sigma, then E3 is also equals to 0. Okay, this is how we find electric field in between two sheets or outside the two sheets at any side. This is how we have to do. We have to first mark the direction and then we have to add or subtract accordingly. Now your homework is, you will do it for both the sheets, take both the sheet as positive. Okay, you can share your PDF with me, both the sheets are positive. Here sigma 1, sigma 2. Now you will find electric field in region 1st, 2nd and 3rd as first mark the direction and then find E1, E2 and E3 with special cases if sigma 1 is equals to sigma 2. Later on put this thing also. Okay, so this is all about electric field between two sheets. Now coming to its last application, that electric field due to a spherical shell. A spherical shell is like your plastic ball which is empty from inside. That is empty because it's like football. Football is empty from inside, it is having air only. So that kind of structure is of a spherical shell. So we'll find electric field, third and last application which we have to discuss is electric field due to a thin spherical shell. So it is like a hollow sphere. So thin spherical shell means we'll consider this spherical shell of radius, say r is the radius of this spherical shell r. This is center. Now this is hollow. Whatever charge you will give to this spherical shell or a conductor, it will always reside on its surface. Suppose Q is the charge given to it. Let Q be the charge given to it. So it will, the whole charge will reside on its outer surface. Now to find electric field, I can consider three different positions, like First point is, suppose here inside the charged spherical shell I want to find electric field at this point. Its distance is r1. So let us start with it, then only I'll draw another diagram. First I have decided the point P. Now draw the Gaussian surface passing through this point P. I have drawn this as the Gaussian surface. Here the symmetrical Gaussian surface will be a sphere only. This is not a circle, this is a sphere in 3 dimensions. So total, and consider the area, say area is ds1, and electric field, you know, for positive it is radially outward, so this is the direction of electric field. Now total electric flux, when we have to calculate E vector dot ds vector, it will be E ds1 cos of 0 degree, because both are acting in same direction. So it will be E ds1 cos 0 is 1. So what is surface area of this sphere? Its radius is r1, so it will be E into 4 pi r1 square. So this is total electric flux, and according to Gauss theorem this should be equals to, total electric flux should be equals to Q upon epsilon naught. But here what is the charge inside this spherical surface, Gaussian surface? All the charge is residing outside. There is no charge inside this. Q is 0 in this case. Here Q equals to 0. This is for inside. When we are calculating inside, Q is equals to 0. It means our E into 4 pi r1 square, this is equals to 0. This implies electric field inside the spherical shell, this is equals to 0. Okay, so inside spherical shell electric field is 0. Now let us take the point outside the spherical shell. On the same diagram, I will take a point here, suppose Q. Let us consider this is outside the spherical shell. First join it, distances, say r2. Then draw the Gaussian surface passing through it. This is the Gaussian surface passing through it. Let us consider small area. Like ds2, it will be pointing outward. Electric field is also pointing outward. Fine. So in this case, for outside, again both are in the same direction. So you will calculate total electric flux E dot ds3. It will ds2. I have taken area as ds2. It will be E ds2 cos of 0 degree. E is constant, can be taken out. Surface integral of ds2 cos 0 is 1. Now small surface area is ds2. What is total surface area of this big sphere? Radius is r2. So it will be 4 pi. Okay, I can consider it as r because it will be easy for you to compare. Let it be r only. So you will write it as 4 pi E into 4 pi r square. This is total electric flux, E into 4 pi r square. Now according to Gauss theorem, now using Gauss theorem again, according to Gauss theorem, this flux should be equals to E dot ds Q over epsilon naught. Now total charge enclosed by the surfaces, the whole charge is there inside this spherical shell. So Q is enclosed by it. It means E dot ds, this is equals to E into 4 pi r square. This will be equals to Q over epsilon naught. So electric field outside will be Q divided by 4 pi r square epsilon naught. You can rearrange the term. I can write it like this, 4 pi epsilon naught into Q over r square, which is same as electric field due to a point charge. So for a far off point or a point outside, this spherical shell will behave like a point charge only, and this is the formula. Now third and last case is when the point is on the spherical shell. When the point is on the spherical shell, I will just draw a Gaussian surface just touching this such that it will contain all the charge Q. Gaussian surface radius is almost equal to radius of the spherical shell, that is r. So in this case, again when you will find E vector dot ds3 vector, now area vector. This is the area vector. Suppose ds3, electric field is also pointing outward. So again angle is 0 degree. So it will be equals to E ds cos of 0 degree. So it will be E ds cos 0 is 1. So it is going to be E into 4 pi capital R square, because now radius of Gaussian surface is capital R. So E into 4 pi R square. Now applying Gauss theorem, this E into 4 pi R square, now I am leaving certain steps here. Just apply Gauss theorem, you will write statement. You will write E into 4 pi R square is Q over epsilon naught. This implies electric field is Q over 4 pi R square into epsilon naught. Or we can write, see here, what is this Q over 4 pi R square? Q is charge, 4 pi R square is actually the area, surface area of this shell. So I can write it as Q over area, that is equal to sigma, surface charge density, into 1 over epsilon naught. So electric field can be written as sigma over epsilon naught. This is also okay. If you leave the question up till here, this is also okay. Or you can write it as sigma over epsilon naught. Means on the surface it is constant. So when you have to represent everything in a graphical form, like draw the graph, draw the variation or show the variation of electric field with distance from the center of spherical shell, like this is the distance, here is the electric field. Now when distance is 0, electric field is 0 inside the spherical shell. As we reach at its surface, that R, small r is equals to capital R, here is electric field which is maximum. Electric field is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square. Refer to the article. Just rewind the video, refer to the article. This is electric field. As we move further, electric field keeps on decreasing because R increases. So this is the variation. Inside the spherical shell, it is 0. So the graph will be like this. This shows variation of electric field. You will not touch it with the x's. Okay, it will go like this up to infinity. So we assume that at infinity it is 0. So this is the variation of electric field due to a spherical shell. Inside the spherical shell, it is 0. On the spherical shell, it is this one. We can write it as sigma over epsilon naught also. And after that, it decreases with increase in distance. Okay, so this is all about the application of Gauss theorem. This is thin spherical shell.